Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. My name is John.
This is Crystal. We talk about the joys and the challenges of teaching music in the elementary school classroom.
We share struggles, we brainstorm solutions.
And we would love to have you join us. Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Welcome.
Yeah. Hey. All right. So we have an idea, or I had an idea that I really wanted to talk to John about.
You paused. Did you forget my name for a second?
No, I didn't. That's just how my brain works sometimes, and sometimes
Gotcha.
it stops my tongue. It's really annoying.
At least you pause. Sometimes you just plow through it and like bad things happen. It's like, and then it goes, John. It's like, mistakes were made.
No, I just have random awkward silences in the middle of sentences sometimes. But, you know, the hamster's up there running as fast as she can.
Fair enough. Do you have something up there? I don't.
You don't?
Not today.
I got a hamster on a wheel. Woo! She's going for it.
I have a pending sign. Pending. Please wait.
The Mac spinning wheel on strike. Yeah, a gnome. It's like a gnome up there with a strike sign. Oh man, what do you have? Tweet us at
CH Classroom. There we have it.
What's in your brain? Oh my goodness. I wanted to talk to you about resilience.
It's on strike.
I know, it's on strike. Fair enough.
All right, continue. My apologies.
Fair enough.
Right.
So this is something that keeps coming up with a lot of teachers that I've talked to in the last year, and it's been teachers at a surprisingly large spread of age groups.
Okay.
I have talked to everybody from preschool teachers to college professors who have all observed kind of a similar phenomenon, but in different ways.
Okay.
So what we just had a friend of ours come over for I'm going to start with my own classroom, and then I'll go over to my friend.
Go for it.
Okay, so in my classroom, I have noticed that I have a lot of kids who get frustrated very quickly. That is not new. And I have a rule in my classroom that I think I've said before, where you can't say, I can't do it. You have to add yet.
Yeah.
And have them trained.
Okay.
So if a kid says, oh, I can't do it, then I look at them and I say, you can't do it. And the rest of the class goes, yet. Yeah. It's really fun. Yeah.
I'm sure they have fun as well.
They do. They usually roll their eyes, and then we have a little bit of a laugh, and then it breaks the tension.
Yeah.
Learning it hurts.
Oh yeah.
That cognitive dissonance, it is physically painful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
But we like that pain, some of us. So
we like it until 2020 hit, and we're all to learn something new.
Yeah.
But no, at least provide empathy.
Yes.
As you mentioned in several episodes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We remembered when we had to learn how to redo a thing that we are accustomed to being very good at, just how much it hurts to learn something new.
Why is the musicking working? Oh, wait, this is new. Teacher, my brain's full.
But this is my wheelhouse. Why is it so hard?
The hamsters run off the wheel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she just hibernated for a while. Yeah.
So, sorry, but kind of.
No, it's okay. So anyway, so that's my yet rule in my classroom. And I've noticed that the frustration is there, and it's harder to catch them and get them to continue to try. Okay. I have a number of students, it's not all of them, but a larger percentage of students than I used to who really give up. I have a calm down desk with a breathing book. It's like a mindfulness breathing book. It's called my Magical Breath or something like that. I'll have to bring it sometime. Okay. It's a great book. And so we did it as a class. And so at my calm down desk, they can go and they breathe with the book. And I had a little boy do that today. Put their head down for a little while and then come back and rejoin when they're ready. And I'm fine with that. I also have a stack of errands on my desk. Fake ones that need to be taken to the secretary's office, and she's as far away from any classroom as you could possibly be. Yeah, so they get a nice long walk to walk it off. But anyway, they give up. Okay, so that's what I've noticed. The preschool teachers were saying the same last year, especially at the beginning. Just that it seems like the kids were. They just, they lost interest really fast if it wasn't super easy. And then we had a college professor friend come over for dinner, and he said, he's a foreign language teacher, and he was saying that his intro students, his introductory students, It was like there were 5 kids in the class with a B, and the rest of them were failing.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and he's an amazing teacher. Yeah. And he was doing everything he knew to help them, but he said if it's not instantly easy, they give up. And so he's reaching for anything to help them. Yeah. And so I've just, and then my colleagues are saying the same thing too. Like the kids get really frustrated really fast and they tend to unhook. And so I wanted to bring that up. Yeah. I wanted to know, I wanted to hear from you some of your ideas, and I thought we'd spitball some ideas and talk about, things we've read let's throw some things at the wall. So what have you seen? Have you seen this?
Kind of. Remember when we started talking about this before the podcast, this is different. That's not something I've experienced. But as I process and think about it, first off, from the college level, I do remember talking to a couple other professors, similar things.
Okay.
And at first I get resistant or hesitant to say, just if it's not quick and easy, it's like they give up. It's like, and trying to process, well, yeah, we've also undergone at least for this professor, their freshman year of university was online. So
right.
So that's rough.
That was my point to our friend. Okay. I said, you have to remember the last normal year that your current freshman had was their freshman year of high school. They never really learned how to learn in high school, and now they've landed in university.
It's been 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
1920. That was when everything happened.
1920?
Right, 1920, and then 2021.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
21, 22.
Yes.
Now we're in 22, 23.
I'm so sorry. I thought
that's okay. I know what you thought, but are you tracking now?
I'm tracking.
Catch up, Seligman.
Full year. Last full year. Yeah, you're right.
You said you wanted me to bring more sass, so come on.
I didn't say. No.
Let's go.
Hold up.
You said you missed my sass.
Yes, this doesn't mean I want more of it.
Yes, it does. Totally infers that.
At Mr. Seligman to support me, please. If you're not going to support me, just don't even try.
But right?
No. So yeah.
So their last normal school year, they did not have a normal high school experience. Just period, flat, end of story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're missing a lot of foundational how to learn.
They have a full year of normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay.
I said congratulations, you're a high school teacher.
So. Yeah, and so it's hard also because we're dealing with people who have more vocabulary than the students that we teach. So it's different as well on that regards.
Oh, yeah.
As I think about the students that I have and the difficulties and the kind of stuff that I guess, okay, first off, I'm going to preface this. I often am someone who often thinks, okay, the fault's mine. I need to put that aside. And it's like, yeah, there are, if I really think of this objectively, yeah, there are students that do... some of my hardest behavior students, I think one second grader who just gives up so easily. Yeah. And the point where he starts flopping like a soccer player, yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, my leg hurts. It's like, dude, no, just no. Yeah. But
do you have kids who leave the room? I have elopers. A lot. Really? Yeah, oh my gosh. I have 2 in every class.
I have only elopers students in STC classes. So it's never happened, but there has been cases where it's gotten close. But the IA is there to support. I'm just focusing on everyone else.
We're getting better. Okay. We have some school-wide systems, but that comes with the high trauma of my kiddos. Right. Yeah, they just they're out. It's like, dude. So for last year, the goal was let's stay in the room. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess, and also I think about certain cohorts where they've always had behavioral struggles, but now it's definitely gotten to the point where they just don't even want to sing, or do they want to show, because they now, before COVID, they were in second grade, and now they're in 5th, and so it's already, even if there was no COVID, that's such a big jump, and so from them now jump from second grade to 5th grade voices is just difficult. And so I don't see them so much as giving up, but definitely obfuscating with humor and such, and just trying to
okay, this is too hard, so I'm going to get out of it, and I'm going to be a nuisance while I'm at it.
Nuisance, just joke around, and so there's some of that. There is some of that.
That kind of goes back with what we talked about with belonging. It's if they don't feel like they belong, they're going to carve out where they belong.
Yeah, definitely. And
that's my identity.
The frustrating part is that this one student I'm thinking of specifically is like, he has a good voice. And he's like, and I've gotten to the point where I really talk about, everyone's voice is unique and special.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you're doing a disservice to your own voice.
Right.
Like, you're not affecting me. It's like my honor and my pride is not shattered. It's you, bro.
Yeah.
It's like,
but it does really hurt as a teacher to see. I know, but this is going on. And
you hurt me.
No. You don't say that, but your heart is breaking inside your chest. Like, oh my gosh, we could be so good if you would just, and you can hear it. You can visualize it.
I mentioned in the last episode where I had a really hard week and I had to step away. And this was not the cause of it, but this was definitely the last straw. We were singing... our school we have a high number of naval folk, and so we celebrate Patriot Day. So remember, not even celebrate, we would remember Patriot Day in remembrance of the events of 9/11, the first responders. And so my students sing a song. And our accompanist, so we were supposed to perform on Friday before 9/11, whatever that date was. I think it was the 10th. Anyways, there was rain outdoors.
Yeah.
And so we had to postpone it to Monday. My accompanist could not make the Monday. So we had to sing to a click track. We've never sung to a click track before. It was a hot mess. It was so bad. But the saddest part was also some of the kids just kind of, when they saw that, it was bad, they kind of almost, they didn't give up, but it was like you saw their faces was resigned. The sixth graders are supposed to be the leaders. Were like, they started laughing because of nervousness. But then it just became infectious. Like, okay. So I guess, I think that when you first brought this up to me, I had thought immediately of just giving up. But no, it takes different forms. Yeah,
it's a disengagement.
Yes.
I think is what it is. It's like you watch the light leave their eyes.
Yeah.
And I need sparkly eyes.
Yeah.
I really do. I need that energy from them. I'm such an extrovert, especially my teacher personality, that I feed off of their joy. Yes. And so when I don't get that back, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. If I push, I expect some sort of pushback. Not a negative pushback, some sort of feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're in it.
Or just that energy that no one expresses, but it's there.
Yeah.
And so when it just does, today.
Magic.
Okay, so today was our first day back from fall break. And my first kiddos, they were so tired.
Oh, yeah.
They were so tired. And I felt it. And it was like, they at least were they recognized we're here. Let's do what we can. But that energy was gone.
Yeah.
It was just, oh, man. I had 2 cups of coffee. And so it was I'm barely holding on. It's I feel you. You're tired. Take a deep breath. Let's push through.
We've tried to play David Frigo's opposite game where I say apple, you say pear, right? So... Apple,
pear.
Apple.
Oh, pear.
Apple, 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 apple.
Pear.
Apple, pear, apple, pear.
Pear, apple.
You can imagine this did not go well. The first day, first class after fall break. They were a mess.
But I like that, actually.
Oh, yeah. It was really
but
it was fun.
Do you feel like that helps with the whole disengagement?
Yeah, I do. I love calling everything a game. It's like, if it's a game, then it's fun.
Okay, so I don't mean to flaunt my own horn. I know that's not the expression.
Flaunt your own horn?
I know. But...
Wow.
Say that for the record. But whenever students are like, oh, man, it's testing season. For me, it's always been a game. Now I'm too old for me. I think that's a game. It's like, oh, man, it's testing. But it's if you think of it as a game, you think of it as objective. You don't feel the shame of failure.
Yeah.
But also so back to what I was asking earlier. Do you utilize that for disengagement? Is that a tool that you utilize?
Yeah.
The Frigo, Dalcroze approach of simple stuff that we turn musically and bring into cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, sure. In the ORF process, if we're making things too complicated, you step it back. You take it down.
You step back. I just burn. Keep on the burner.
You just keep going. Just
quit failing. Let's go.
Watch it burn. No. If 2 hands is too hard, you go to 1. If playing eighth notes is too hard, quarter notes it is. If we can't play, whatever, then we just step it back. Sure. Yeah. Finding a simpler way to do things. But I'm finding that even when I give an accommodation, sometimes I've got some kids that are, I think they are so used to not feeling successful in school that it's become a habit. That's my theory. And so I'm wondering how to break that habit, because one of my biggest prides in being the music teacher is that I have been able to find a way for everybody to feel like they can be successful. And when you feel successful in one area, then you get to like that feeling and maybe realize that you can be successful in others. And so I want them to feel successful.
I'm going to guess this question, the answer is no.
Uh-huh.
Is there a common denominator of the people that disengage?
Uh-huh.
Is there a personality trait? And even if it's not...
It's not a personality trait.
Personality trait's the wrong word, but is there something that most kiddos... I'm going to break it down and kind of like...
Yeah, there's two: learning disabilities and trauma.
Well, yes.
I mean...
Sure.
Yeah.
I more mean like... Because I feel like for me, the things I love about David Frigo's stuff was that it's in the like the stuff that he brought to us. A lot of it is like the lesson heavy stuff, but a lot of it is also just the warm up stuff. And it was like definitely a way of waking up the brain, but it was very simply based stuff. And I'm thinking about, you feel like a lot of students just felt failure.
Yeah.
But is there areas that they don't feel failure? And is there like an overarching, like, again, not personality trait, that was the wrong term, but is there like a topic where you feel like that more kids than not in that group feel like they do succeed in?
Well, I think that's why it's really important to do things as a large group where people don't stick out as much until they get to the point where they can do things successfully. Yes. So, while our skills are still rebuilding, in this next year or two, I think it's just going to be a lot more of like, we're all going to do the same thing. We're not going to be doing a whole lot of two-part anything. It's like, we're all singing the same thing. We're all clapping the same rhythm. We're all playing the same rhythm because we just don't have those foundational skills because we missed some key building years. So, I think that might apply across the board. It's like, we need to get back to those foundational skills, and I don't know what that means for anybody who doesn't do my job. I can't tell the college professors what to do, and I can't tell the high school teachers what to do or the preschool teachers what to do. But I think what I'm going to do is look at the skills that I want them to build and be like, okay, so this is how I taught that in the past, and we can't do that right now. So bring it back. How would I teach it to second grade?
If you lost that reference, you clearly did not listen to the last episode. So pause, listen to that episode, and jump back in there.
Yeah, and how can I make it fun? I've started asking them for their favorite songs. They listen to trash, man.
See, at least they share. That's the
I
thing.
know.
Because my students don't oftentimes.
Oh my gosh, though. Some of these songs, I look them up and I'm like, ugh.
Do you have an example?
And not that I'm willing to say on the podcast. No. And if it's just dumb, off the internet, that's fine. But like if it's full of a bunch of gross references, that's what just kind of kills me inside. It's like, that's your favorite song? No. But I'm all about fun kid humor. Corn song, totally fine.
Corn's great.
I can hang with that.
Wait, do the kids like Corn?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's such millennial humor.
Oh, yeah?
It is so millennial humor. I'm surprised that it translates to kiddos. Because I know Gen Z folks think, oh, man, it's millennial humor. Like,
really?
Because, okay, let's be real. Like, that's really a harkening back to when we did the whole auto-tuning of videos. And that was not a thing. That stopped for a long time. So,
all right.
I'm glad that... I don't have to sound
or whatever. Old. Or the chicken wing song. Like, they love that one. Chicken wing,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But anyway, I've been trying to get them to share some music, and I'll have to sift through a whole lot of suggestions before I can find a couple that are good. But I found a few, and then we'll just play along with those too. And so just trying to find those things that make it fun. Yeah. Yeah, bring it back.
Bring it back.
Keep it light. Keep it fun. Anything with a beat is good. I've been taking a page out of Jesse's book, Jesse Rogers, who we did a wonderful, series of podcasts with.
Yeah, 3 episodes.
Yes. He loves to use a lot of producing stuff, music production in his classroom. And so he plays with loops and sound samples and things. And so that's fun to mix up your own beats and then have the kids play on top of that.
Reinforcement to what we're saying here. I remember back in 2019. Orff conference.
Yes.
I forget, unfortunately, the presenter, but one thing that she shared about was that you have the material. Don't look for the material far and wide. You have the material that's in the playground. The kids are making stuff. And so
I feel, what clapping games are they playing?
What are they doing? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I think that oftentimes we try to we try to give the students a bunch of material, but what are they doing? Yeah. And how does that, because if we activate that, then you get their interest. You get the buy-in.
You know what? I have not taken the time with some of the kids that I'm seeing their little faces right now, in my imagination. I haven't taken the time to really find out what they do. There's one in particular that he's a real puzzle for me this year. I haven't figured out how to get him to engage, and things are really hard for him. Okay. And I don't know what he does for fun and what makes him feel good. So, and
I think also another thing
that's important.
Sometimes they don't know, and that's part of if I think about when I'm at my hardest times, I can't tell you what I like.
Yeah, that's true.
Depending on where the student's at, they couldn't tell you either, and I think that's.
So then the answer might be, well, what would you like to start with? That we could explore. Here's 2 suggestions.
Yeah, and maybe again, I'm just throwing hypotheticals. I'm thinking about one student also in my head right now. Yeah. And just he just doesn't. He just stops.
Just disengaged. And it's just what? If that's the case, that's a sign of depression.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm thinking about when I was mentioning my hardest times.
So that's something that needs a counselor referral.
Exactly. It's outside of our purview, and we should. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. And so if that's a pattern that you're noticing, that's on us as educators to help get them services. That's interesting. Yeah, you know what? And they are saying that we have, unprecedented, I hate that word, it's so overused, but rates of, depression and anxiety.
You're right.
Yeah, but we do have a lot of kids right now suffering from mental health issues, depression and anxiety, more than we ever have.
Or have ever documented. That's another thing I want to say. When we say unprecedented, it's okay, but did we really do a good job documenting mental health?
I do think it's real, though.
It is real.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Oh, yeah. I just always raise
resilience. I just want them to try, and I also want them to find the fun in trying. I guess it's they were so excited to play violins, and I told them they would sound really bad for a long time. And the only way to not sound really bad is to practice for a long time.
Practice well.
Yes.
You want to put that out there?
Practice well.
Practice does not make perfect.
Right. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You have to actually practice things that build your skill.
And a kid today before choir and also in the middle of choir, he's supposed to jump in, but he's practicing clarinet. I got outside. It's bro, you probably broken your reed by now, but okay.
You're like, every goose in the area will be coming here shortly.
Summoning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but again, okay. So, I'm sorry. But
I always say my beginning strings sound like drunk bumblebees.
Okay.
They do.
I would like a sample of that. And then Jesse can make something off of that.
Jesse can remix
exactly. Oh, gosh. Or he can remix it into the Fly the Bumblebees. Each pitch.
Flight of the Drunk Bumblebee. That sounds like a Dave Thaxton composition. Dave, I challenge you. Anybody who wants to write Flight of the Drunk Bumblebee, I want to hear it.
You just got to record just one sample and then boom, you're at it.
Me?
Well,
me record?
It's your drunk bumblebees. Not I love drunk bumblebees.
There's our quote for Instagram. They're your drunk bumblebees. I like that.
So, but yeah.
This tangent brought to you by.
But I go back to what you mentioned the other day before you go. And I don't know. I think that really part of it. Now, again, there are so many facets of what causes someone to disengage. But I really do believe that his element of doing the ABCs with the numbers, like that's such a simple thing that we all know how to do in quotes. Now
we can all count. We can all say our ABCs.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, like, okay, how can we adapt that simplicity to something that they actually want?
Pause. So we're talking about David's game where he does sequencing. David Frigo, yes, Dr. Frigo. He goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But then you go A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, D, 4, and you can do it with any sequence. So you could do days of the week. Sunday 1, 2, Monday 2. See, I can't even do it.
Well,
yeah, it's harder than it sounds, right? But that's
and then you go backwards, or then also I like to do thirds. A, 1, C, 3, G,
and that feeds into learning to think ahead with music, you know, because you have to memorize something and you have to remember how it's coming up. Right. So you're not only in the moment with what you're doing, you're planning for the future.
Thinking ahead,
right?
You're activating the brain.
You are, yeah,
full on,
right. Yeah. Yeah, it's so good for the kids. Yeah. Yes, but it's a fun game.
So what's a sequencing thing for some? Yeah. How do we adapt a sequencing thing so it's not just alphabet, but something that actually, because like that's a fun
I've been trying to do it with their gosh, what we were just working on some math concepts together with it. I can't remember what it was. They had to memorize some sequence of something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm always looking for ways to do arts integration, though. Okay. I quiz the teachers in the teacher's lounge. I try really hard not to eat lunch in my room because even though it was a little awkward for the first couple of years, I planted myself in the lounge, and
it's good advocacy.
It is. You got to make friends outside your room. As tempting as it is to shut the door, and sometimes you need to shut the door and put your head down.
Yes.
That's fine too. But it is important to get out and make friends with the other teachers. And so I try to quiz them about, hey, how's it going, this week? What's going well? And then what's a concept the kids are having trouble with this week that you're working on? And it's really interesting to hear. And especially since my lunchtime is a different time every day because I've got a different grade level at lunchtime. Yep, I make the rounds. Of music teacher. Yeah, I get to hear from everybody by the end of the week. And it gives me an interesting perspective, as the whole school. So what can we work on in music class? It's like we have to learn all these concepts. Like we can say almost anything to a steady beat, So if it needs to be something that reinforces, I don't know, a poem they're doing in literature or whatever, sure, we can do that.
But I'm thinking like less of maybe I'm just restating the thing that we're saying over and over again. But like if we're talking about disengagement,
gotcha.
Then like what's something that activates something of their own interest, but still utilizes sequencing thing so that they are constantly thinking forward. Because I remember I was having a conversation with a friend of ours, Inez, who is very Dalcroze based, and so like, and I really think that's one of the biggest differentiators of Dalcroze versus Orff. Is the cognition. Like Orff, you can do it. Dalcroze, you do it. Yeah, that's true. And so how can you take what kind of things? Yeah, how can you take the playground and turn that into sequencing? Unless maybe it's instead of how can you take a lesson concept that I want to teach from music or I want to teach in their general ed class, how can you take the playground and make it into sequencing? I don't know. It depends, and that's going to vary with every single, not just every single.
We've done basketball rhythms before.
Expound.
Okay. Yeah, it's really fun. Get all the balls out, stand in a circle, don't say balls.
Yeah, I see racist balls.
Just don't. Yeah. It's not good. But
especially with 6th grade, you get a lot of teehees.
Musical spheres. You get the musical spheres out. Okay. Rhythmic musical spheres.
Aren't you just like, why is she calling musical spheres? Because she doesn't want to say balls.
No, I say that when they ask because you guys will laugh at me if I say balls. And then I made the joke first. Yeah. So then we stand in a circle, and then it's not cool anymore. It's like how I killed the dab. Oh man! Oh gosh! I started dabbing. Not cool anymore.
The worst part was when I said we're playing something in like D Dorian. It's all right. Now we're gonna play the big D. It's like. Like three kids.
That's funny. Okay. That's funny.
You know what? I fell into that one. That's on me. That's on me. The D to the A.
Bye. I quit now.
Because we're doing open fifth, so D and A is like big D, big day.
That's hilarious. So basketball, the basketball rhythms. Spheres. It's not hard. We can do it with tennis balls too. And I have, you do, bounce it and you count whole notes. So bounce 2, 3, 4, bounce 2, 3, 4, and then half notes. Bounce 2, bounce 4, bounce 2. And then you really can't get quarters going unless you're sitting on the ground and you're doing very tiny bounces, depending on how fast your rhythm is. But they really like that. They get into it, and then you can travel with it. And bounce, every 2 beats, or 4. And so you would bounce, walk, bounce, walk, stuff like that.
I don't know if this next question I'm going to say is going to help with engagement. But just sticking with the dog pros, cognition, that's very movement kinesthetic based.
Yeah.
How can we break the brain?
How can you what?
Break the brain.
Break the brain. Oh, okay.
Because that's really what the warm-up exercise of the A1, B2.
Honestly, for some of my kids, that breaks their brain.
Perfect.
Having to manage that material.
Sure, okay.
That's really difficult to have to hold on to something. Now, if we were just walking and counting and clapping, that doesn't break your brain.
Gotcha.
But once you add something that you have to make sure, if you're using tennis balls, for example, and it hits your foot instead of the ground. Tennis musical spheres. Rhythmic musical spheres. Yes. Oh, you know what's really fun? I have black lights, and I have a room with no windows, and so tennis balls glow in the black lights. And so every year for Halloween, I do a black light day.
Spooky.
It's so fun. It's so fun. And we do that game with that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they're like, my teeth glow. It's so great. And then I got a UV pen, and I wrote rhythms, and I hid them around the room. And so they got to walk around the room, and then they would have to bounce the ball to the rhythm that they found. It was really cool.
One of my frustrations is that you teach? No, you don't. I teach in a portable.
Oh, loud floor.
Loud floors.
Do you have a neighbor?
I do. But the thing is that the portables is separated with about a foot or so.
Okay.
So that's
You're not sharing a wall.
We're not sharing a wall. That's not an issue.
I was in a portable sharing a wall 1 year.
Oof. Yeah, so
it wasn't good.
Thankfully, because we have concert bands, so they don't hear much of that. Except for sometimes we have drum bumblebees. I was like, why do we have Finney Stints in here? Go back.
Mine aren't the only ones.
Okay. So, but regardless, so it's that thump. And so
yep.
I would love to have that filled, but
spy shoes.
But with recess balls, that's the thing. That's the issue.
I would do it on the playground. I have a Bluetooth speaker. And so when we're doing basketballs, we just go outside.
Now that's cooling down in San Diego.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We do a lot of Delcro's activities outside on the playground. It makes all the difference in the world. They, if we have the playground to ourselves.
Yeah.
And I do love doing music class in the garden or on the grass, on a nice day.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I have them make rhythms out of, sticks and leaves and stuff, because it's we can either work on this concept in my classroom using my normal visual aids, or we can take these wiggles outside and do the exact same thing where we will all be happier.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once you write your rhythm, you make a man out of the leaves. Make a leaf person. What art can you make with those sticks and leaves, children?
I'm just trying to conceive.
Really?
I don't know.
Have you not learned my Leaf Man lesson?
I feel like you've shared it.
I feel like I've shared it with you. It's fine. It's fine. I'll share that another time. It's fine.
You can put it on the Patreon. I don't know.
Almost anything you can do inside, you can do outside. Yes, I would love to share that on the Patreon. I would be happy to share that on the Patreon. So how about that? That will be my first lesson that I share.
There you have it.
I will package my visuals, my lesson plan, and my original song to go with the book Leaf Man. It's a lovely book, and it is a really fun lesson, and it's perfect for those days where everybody is too wiggly to stay in the classroom. And actually, that's one of my best get everybody engaged ones too, because my kids can make leaf dogs and leaf houses and leaf art all day long.
So I feel like we've been addressing how can we bring the student back, but you really want to talk about the topic of resilience.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not maybe that's just something where as long as you incorporate that bring back into the community, and then them
just engagement and belonging,
and then they feel like that all right, well, it's not easy, but at least my teacher cares.
Yeah.
At least I'm having.
Well, I guess Miss Pridmore is going to keep bugging me until I do it.
I guess I get to play with musical spheres here. But yeah, it was like, as long as you're having them participate, even if it's like not the level you want it to be.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, you'll take it. Yeah.
I want sparkly eyes, but it's
that feedback,
right?
As long as it's feedback, because the thing you don't want is
I want joy.
Sure.
Like I said last episode, I want joy and exuberance. That's really important.
Demand it. Give me joy.
Give me joy.
Do it.
Children.
Yeah. But yeah, and then for me, the belonging element, and so I think they aren't two separate facets. They are things that work in tandem, and so as long as they are engaged and as long as they feel like they belong, I think you'll eventually get that resilience.
I do want to end with a couple things that I was learning about this year that have really helped. Okay. We've been talking a lot as a school about trauma-informed learning and trauma-informed practices.
For understandable reasons.
Yeah. And something that we keep saying over and over and over again is, not only do you do all these things, like you create a safe space and you have systems in place to help kids, you don't punish behaviors that are a result of trauma. And that's hard. And we have a couple of phrases that we're encouraged to use. And I think the most helpful one, when I need to talk to a student, is "you're not in trouble." I think I said it probably 10 times today. Like, "Angel, come on over here. You're not in trouble. Promise you're not in trouble." And I had a kid who was, he could not sit down. He could not sit still. It was the first 5 minutes of school. He was rolling. He's in 3rd grade. He was rolling.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness. He's jumping up and down. And I was like, "Angel, come here." and he had that look on his face, like, oh,
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to imagine you, Miss Pridmore. I was like, "Angel, come over here. You're not in trouble." And meanwhile, you have like this pear you're cutting up. Come over here.
No, it wasn't like
you're
that.
Not in trouble.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't like that. It was like, "You're not in trouble, I promise." And I had an errand for him to run. That's where the stack for the secretary comes off the desk. Actually, I did need him to get me batteries for something. So I was like, "Here, go get me some batteries. Come back. You need a walk." Or I'll just say, "Hey, I know that we're waiting on announcements. It's taking a little while. You want to stand over here in the corner?" That's fine. Yeah. And if I'm giving instructions and they're looking extra wiggly, it's like, maybe I can give these instructions while they're standing up. Maybe I can have them do something while I'm talking to them.
All right. Now you're going to pose.
Yes. Give me a round shape. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Just waking up the brain.
Yeah. Wake up the brain. If they're sitting there, I mean, I don't think we remember as teachers how boring it can be to sit and listen to someone until we have to sit in a PD for a whole day.
We experience that
a
lot.
We do.
I think it's important that we also recognize that what we feel in those professional developments or those meetings, et cetera, especially the Zoom calls back in the day. I still have those, but it's like they are not fun, but they're important. And same thing, sometimes what we teach, it's going to be the veggies, or whichever parallel analogy you want to give.
It's a little dry.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to get through the dry stuff. Unseasoned, indeed. Those are my thoughts.
Those are valid thoughts.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the validation. I'll take it.
Boom,
stamped.
I feel like I do think this is going to be something that we're going to be working with for a while. And like I think that's also why I understand the desire for us to get back to quote unquote base level as far as our testing goes.
Yeah.
But realistically, we're going to be having these hiccups for a long time. Yeah,
we are. And I think that there's been some fundamental shifts in our society. Like we're going to see some. Teaching is a constantly changing profession. If you want to do the same thing year after year, don't be a teacher.
As long as the systems that push education in certain directions are willing to be malleable as well, and also understand that as well. I agree.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Full agreement with you. We also need people with that mindset on top as well.
Yeah, we do.
Inside.
I agree.
Yeah. Resilience.
Indeed.
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
Awesome.
Yeah. We'll be back with Spiccato
after the break.
I want to take a quick break and thank my husband, Bryan, who's been working behind the scenes producing these episodes every week on all of the platforms and on time. But you need to know that he is first a financial planner for Mission Trails Financial. Mission Trails Financial is a partner that seeks to guide clients in the journey to financial success. They believe that people need a financial advisor that aims to provide strategies for success. Mission Trails Financial helps people navigate investments, tax planning, and insurance. Imagine working with an advisor who isn't tied to specific brands. Mission Trails Financial has a fiduciary responsibility to act in the best interests of their clients by providing independent, objective advice. Their mission is to help clients accomplish their financial goals. As Joe Vitale once said, a goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. Do yourself a favor and set up a time to chat with Mission Trails Financial. Visit www.missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 to schedule a call. You'll be glad you did. We believe that leaning on professionals is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more information. John, I have such a cool spiccato today.
You gotta have to wait for that one. Yeah, no. We're gonna get there.
Okay, fine.
You know, it's our traditional left turn. It's no longer hard. It's traditional left turn. Thank you so much, everybody, each and every one of you, for being part of this journey. What would be really helpful to make sure this thing continues to grow, as it's been growing for 4 years.
4 years, yay!
4 wild, awesome years, is to leave us 5 stars, no less. I've seen those less. I will sniff you out. But yeah, also while you're at it, please also, I know it takes a lot of effort, but leave a little message as well with it. It would be super helpful. Also, we in order to grow this community, it would be great if you can go on, jump onto YouTube, and even if you don't watch us on YouTube, go there anyways. Hit subscribe, then just forget about it.
Help us out.
And keep on hitting that like and bell. But also,
tell your friends.
Tell your friends, for sure. And also tell your friends about patreon.com/CA's Classroom. As been announced today, whenever this is published, we will be having some lessons to showcase.
Yep, like, Leaf Man's coming.
Also, we have some merch if you want to be a part of that. And also, we have some Ask Us Anything.
Ask us anything.
So we are definitely an open, as you probably, if you've been listening for a while, we're open to
We share a lot.
We share a lot. So,
yep.
Yeah,
we're in it with you, and we want to come alongside you. So this is us inviting you to join
and help. Yeah, if you want to help keep this system running, throw us a buck. If you can't throw us a buck, that's okay. This is a free podcast anyway. So,
yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is so cool. So I have a really cool friend who is a sound healer, and she was leading a sound healing session.
Okay.
And I had my eyes closed because we were doing like a guided meditation while she was playing, and it was all stuff I've heard before, singing bowls, gongs, all kinds of wonderful things. It was beautiful. It was in the Japanese Friendship Garden in Balboa Park. Gorgeous. And then she played this thing at the end, and when when I opened my eyes at the end, I went straight to her. I was like, what was that? I have to have that. And so I brought them.
Okay.
I bought them, and this is it. So these are called Koshi Chimes.
Okay.
And they are from France. They're made out of bamboo, and on the inside they are tuned bars. This one I think is a G major, and they have a little glass bead, and they're essentially stir xylophones.
Interesting.
Yeah, here you go. So you just hold it. So it's a tube, and it has bars on the inside that are tuned, and then it's a wind chime, pretty much. And I've seen them in other places now. Sometimes people hang them from trees, like wind chimes. I would never want them outside.
So Koshi bars, is that the brand name, or is
Koshi Chimes?
Koshi Chimes.
That, as far as I can tell, that's the name of the instrument.
Okay. From France.
Yeah, they're from France.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. My stand looks very Japanese. And they come in different elements. So that one's earth. This one is water. And this one is fire.
There's your 5.
And this one is air.
There's your 6.
And then there you go. Yeah, they're all pentatonic, so they're all made to go together.
Okay. So, I'll have to look into this. I'm curious.
Aren't they pretty?
Huh.
But I just thought they were so charming.
They are nice. That's for sure.
They have so many overtones.
So I'm looking inside. It's like, yeah, there's like a pendulum that's striking different, we call them tines? Tines, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really pretty
cool.
little glass bead that you never see because it's inside the tube.
Yeah. It's a curious mechanism. I like it. Yeah.
So what would you use it for?
Shut up!
Yeah. An attention getter.
No. Well, I mean, I'm curious if there's a history behind it. I would love to see if I can incorporate it into a lesson, but
yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, these are a modern invention.
Okay.
Inspired
by what is computers? That's the thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, inspired by lots of things.
Sure, but I'm curious. And so if I could pull and extract that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But okay, etymology aside.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel like they're a combination of a lot of different instruments. But yeah, I would like to know more about them as well. Mm-hmm. It's true. So my first thought when I heard them was it reminded me of those books on tape that I loved as a kid, and I had a flashback to the 80s, like laying on my belly with my turn the page when you hear.
Transition.
You know. Yeah, and so I was thinking maybe when we're doing a story, I could have somebody be the page turner sound.
Since we've talked so much about David Frigo.
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Frigo.
Hey, Dr. Frigo. What my first thought, as these kind of do have, like, even though it's pentatonic, they do have different chords.
Yes. Yeah.
Each one could be a different. You use your ring one, you are walking straight. You run the other, you're walking backwards. Ring one, you're constantly, the brain is constantly trying to listen for what tonal center, or not even tonal center, whatever pentatonic center you're playing.
Yeah.
That's one idea. Another thing.
That's a great idea. That might be a little tricky.
You'd really have to train their ears.
You would. You'd have to listen very closely.
So, but yeah, it's
so hang on. Yeah. So when you hear walk around the room, when you hear turn in place, 2, and then walk around the room, 1. I would start with only 2 of them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Same thing you do with Dr. Frigo's activity. You do not jump with all 4.
No.
But that's an idea. Another thing I've thought about is, so my former roommate Ryan, both and I were composition majors, he and I, and we had to do non-tonal music, and so he was
just gonna keep these going in the background.
Do it. And so he devised this whole wind chime setup where his piece was very much a visual and auditory piece. He was supposed to do a specific Tai Chi form, and each time as he moved, he would hit a different bell.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think both he and I liked the concept a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, maybe as a folding of what Dr. Frigo's was, instead of maybe a movement back forward, it's more of just a pose, like you're hearing 1, utilizing your arms in the low level. So yeah, I guess this is all adaptations of the same one, but yeah.
No, I like that though. You could have the kids compose their own ideas. So what do you visualize when you hear this one?
And okay, I think this is what I was trying to get at actually with the other one. With the piece that my friend made, the person was blindfolded while moving. Ooh. So maybe a student does not know what they're hitting, but they're hitting something, and that's causing the rest of this class to interact in a certain way. So it's all, I don't want to say random, but it's all improvisatory. Even it's like a blind test. Almost like
you could also have spots on the board that are different colors. So you could have blue and green and yellow and red, and then have a chime for each color, and then you could have a conductor touch a color and then play the chime, and then they do a movement, or play something on the Orff instruments that goes along with it. That could be very cool. And then you could have an entire improvised piece based on that. Yeah, I like it too. You could get to form that way too. So you could go like A, B, A, whatever it is. Write out the form, have the conductor touch the colors, have the kids play it.
This could get a full-on sensory performance.
Yeah. I'm completely mesmerized by these things. I love them. So there you go.
There you have it.
What would you do with Koshi Chimes?
At CH Classroom. Let us know.
Yeah. And it is spelled Koshi is how it's spelled if you want to look them up. All right. Round of the week. So I have a traditional round for us today. Okay. This is all over the internets. I cannot find a composer for it anywhere. Everything just says traditional. It sounds very Lutheran, like you said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so those are my people. What's up, fellow Lutherans?
Like and subscribe, Lutherans.
So, yeah, I found it. The Girl Scouts have it in their official songbook. And I also found it on the Kadai database.
Gotcha. What's it called?
It's called For Thy Gracious Blessings.
Okay.
For thy gracious blessings, for thy wondrous word, for thy loving kindness, we give thanks, O Lord. Shall we echo?
Sure.
For thy gracious blessings,
for thy gracious blessings,
for thy wondrous word,
for thy wondrous word,
for thy loving kindness,
for thy loving kindness,
we give thanks, O Lord.
We give thanks, O Lord. Okay, so without that raised seventh, it feels less Lutheran.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, still.
It's not dictated here, so...
Yeah, it's not.
It's now back to just... Got the monks now. All right.
All right, so together, sure. And then we'll split?
Sure.
Okay. For thy gracious blessings, for thy wondrous word, for thy loving kindness, we give thanks, O Lord. For thy gracious blessings, for thy wondrous word, for thy loving kindness, we give thanks, O Lord. For thy gracious blessings, for thy wondrous word, for thy loving kindness, we give thanks, O Lord.
We give thanks, O Lord.
You can either keep the traditional sacred words or you could change them. So just really quickly this afternoon, I just wrote down, I've learned to be thankful each and every day for my friends and family, for my work and play. So those are my... Yeah, sure. It's my alternate, text. Non-religious text. So depending on your population, if you want to change it slightly, you could.
Totes.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Crystal, love the stuff. Is there anything you want to promote, or do you want to share where can people reach out to you?
Sure. You can reach out to me. Jonathan and I are both giving workshops. If you are interested in having both of us host a workshop for you, we would love to do that together. We can come at you chaotic harmony style, bring some spiccatos with us, and it'll be a blast.
That way we can have people actually share their thoughts. Or you can just
could
let us know.
Or I've given lots of workshops lately with a lens on SEL, trauma informed teaching. And
the trauma is like something going on. It's like,
I know, right? Well, that's what I've learned the most about in the last 8 years. So that's what I've been focused on. And I've also been really passionate about burnout resistance for teachers and self-care. So if that is interesting to you and you want all of that with an Orphe lens, I would love to be your presenter. And Jonathan is doing some amazing stuff too. Yeah. And so you want to talk about that?
Well, first, where can they reach you though?
Sure. You can find me. You can find me at Mrs.Pridmore on Instagram, or you can find me at crystalpridmore.com.
Awesome. And I'm also doing my workshops as well. Starting we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first solo stuff. So
it's going to be amazing.
Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to reach out to me, you can always find me on the socials at Mr. Seligman, MrSeligman on Twitter. You can always message me there. I'm there like a lot more nowadays on Instagram or TikTok. You can also email me at we'll do the Chaotic Harmony email later. Yeah. Mr. Seligman, I've lost my train of thought. Uh-oh.
Oh no. Train of thought derailed.
No.
Crash. You can find both of us.
Both of us. Well, for sure. You can find both of us at CH Classrooms for all the socials except for YouTube, youtube.com/Chaotic Harmony Classroom. And if you want to have both of us as a duo for a workshop or just want to
just one of us is fine too. Yeah.
Or send a, bro, why'd you do that? You can always send it to chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Bye. The Chaotic Harmony podcast is a joint project between Crystal Pridmore and Jonathan Seligman. You can find us online at chaoticharmonyclassroom.com. You can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com and let us know what you think. Give us feedback about what you would like to hear in future episodes. We're on all the socials. Find us on facebook.com/chaoticharmonyclassroom. You can find us on Twitter at @CHClassroom, Instagram at Chaotic Harmony Classroom, and you can even find our episodes on YouTube. Chaotic Harmony is the name of our channel. Special thanks to Bryan Pridmore for his help with production and equipment. www.pridmoria.com.